What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I'd love to talk about all things Peloton, cycling, and fitness, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday. Today is a very exciting video. First off, my background is different. I am in Los Angeles right now visiting my boyfriend. So one of the best parts of that, obviously besides visiting him, is that he has the real Peloton compared to the Echelon bike that I have in San Francisco. So that is very exciting. And then he also has a non-Peloton treadmill. So I can finally try the Peloton tread classes. I have done a video on walking tread classes because my parents have a treadmill, but basically that treadmill is very wonky and would not survive a running class. You basically can't go more than 5 miles per hour or that treadmill just shuts off. So this is a way more functional treadmill, so I can actually take tread classes, which I'm super excited about because I love the Peloton outdoor runs. So I'm really happy that I can do an indoor exercise, especially in Los Angeles where it is super hot outside, so I don't necessarily want to run outside. So I thought this week I'd take a bunch of different tread classes. I don't really know much. I know that Just Sims seems to be like the favorite on the treadmill, but besides that, I'm just going to go through all of the class categories, take either the most popular ride or top rated ride, whichever one sounds better to me, and then give you my thoughts afterwards. So there's a bunch of different class types. There's warm up and cool down, themed, music, endurance, speed, and intervals. There's also heart rate zone training, which they also have on the bike, but both seem to be discontinued in like 2018 or 2019. So I just don't really want to do it. I feel like I don't really like heart rate zone training that much on the bike, so I'm just not going to do it on the tread. It's not something that Peloton currently offers. They just have very old classes that have it. I thought today I would do the most fun option to really get into the Peloton tread class mood. So I'm going to be doing a music run, specifically the 30-minute Lizzo Fun Run by Just Sims from August 3rd, 2019. If you've watched my top favorite Peloton cycling rides, the Lizzo ride is way up there on my list. I just think that Lizzo music is super fun. I really like her music. It's a very hype ride, and I'm excited to see in run format how it is. And especially since Just Sims seems to be a fan favorite, I'm very excited to take a run from her. And then I'm also going to do a warm up and cool down run just to really get the full tread experience. So the top 10-minute warm up run is by Just Sims also from October 9th, 2020, and it is just like pop music, so I think that it will be fine. I think that the warm up and cool down runs will be pretty chill. And then the 10-minute cool down run I'm doing is also by Just Sims, and it's from February 2nd, 2021, and that's also pop music. So this is just going to be a very pop-filled run, and I'm very excited. So let's just get right on into running. I just finished my run and I have a lot of thoughts, so I'm just going to go in order. For the warm-up, first off, I feel like the warm-up is really important because for the Lizzo run, it got really fast, really quick. Like basically there was no warm-up in the run. Usually for cycling, there's like a 3 to 7 minute warm-up, even in a 30-minute class, but there was basically no warm-up in the run. It just got right into the run. So I'm definitely glad I did the warm-up, and also the first couple minutes of the warm-up was some like side steps, some high knees, some butt kicks, which was also kind of nice that that was worked into the warm-up, because if you were like trying to PR in the run, then you wouldn't have to like waste any of your time warming up. So like the warm-up would definitely take again. And then the Lizzo run was super fun. It was also funny because it's kind of an old run, so there are treadmill people in the studio with her, which I think that the people taking a treadmill class look funnier than the people that are like cycling during cycling classes. But I just thought that that was interesting because I'm just not used to seeing people in the studio a lot anymore. I'm not sure if it was because it was a fun run or if it's because it's an older class. I guess we'll see as this week goes, but there definitely weren't a ton of metrics. She would give like very baseline, but a lot of it was like, oh, jog or oh, run, and you kind of chose what you felt like. She did do a lot of like add a points on when you hear a certain lyric. So for like Lizzo's song Like a Girl, every time you heard Like a Girl during the chorus, you would add it on and then you would like reset at the end of the chorus. But even there, she's like, pick a bass, we're going to add like 0.8 throughout the chorus. So pick what you want to do. I think that it's interesting because on the bike, they definitely push you harder because at your worst, you'll just have your cadence drop. But on the treadmill, if you are pushing yourself too hard, you could like fall off or seriously injure yourself. So I feel like they definitely have to rein it back. But it could also be because this was a fun run. I'll kind of see as the week goes. And then for the cool down ride, I kind of felt like it was take it or leave it. I think I would prefer in the future to cool down by myself and then use the extra time for stretching. Basically, you just started at a run at the beginning of the class, and then every 2 minutes you would take 0.3 to 0.5 off your speed. So then towards the end, you would just be walking, which that is an effective cool down, but I think I'd rather like cool down in 5 minutes and then use another 5 minutes to really stretch out and help me recover faster. But that's really just personal preference, like nothing against the run. It's still a good cool down run, especially if you just have time. But if you're on a time crunch, I'd probably recommend a shorter cool down run and then a stretch also. I burned about the same amount of calories on the treadmill as I would on the bike for the same amount of time. I burn around 500 calories on the bike per every hour that I ride, and that seemed pretty true for the treadmill too. And I ran just a little under 5 miles in 50 minutes, so it's not like I was going crazy fast. It was just with the incline and everything, it really adds up to burning the calories. For reference, for outdoor runs on mostly flat terrain, I can probably run a 720 mile on my best days and then probably an 8-minute mile on my slower days. So I'm definitely way faster outside. So it's not like I ran super fast, but it was still a really good workout. And then on my journey to find the perfect electrolyte after workout drink, I'm trying some new electrolytes because my boyfriend's family has different ones. So I have the Ultima Replenisher grape flavor, which is the electrolytes, and I put 2 scoops of that into like 20 ounces of water. And then I also add these Optimum Nutrients Essential Amino Energy, which is strawberry flavored, and this is like protein and like supposed to help your muscles recover faster. And then the electrolytes is because I just sweat so much. So it looks like this. It tastes a lot like grape. So I'll let you know as my week goes what I think of this drink. So that's it for today. I'm really excited to continue taking classes, especially some of the more technical ones. I do think this was a really fun run. I would definitely recommend it if you liked Lizzo. It was a really great time. It is now 2 days later. I just rode the bike yesterday. I feel like I'm having difficulty because I want to run on the treadmill, but I also want to ride on the Peloton. So I think I might just alternate from now on. But today I'm going to be doing 2 different types of runs and a warm-up and cool-down run. So we're just going to do a long run today. So I'm going to start with a 5-minute warm-up run by Jess Sims from April 8th, 2021. I'm really interested because it seems like a lot of the warm-up runs are 10 minutes and there's only a couple that are 5 minutes. So I wanted to try a 5-minute and see if I felt like that was a good enough warm-up or if I feel like I really need the 10-minute. Then I'm going to be going into the running category of intervals and try the top rated ride there, which is currently a 20-minute HIIT run by Robin Arzon from March 24th, 2020. It is tagged as intermediate, so I'm interested. Obviously, if I can't do the intervals, I'll just modify. It's not the end of the world, but I'm interested to see if she calls out very specific intervals because, like I said, in the Lizzo ride, it was very vague and kind of was up to you. The playlist is some pop music. There's also Beautiful Day by U2 and some other music I don't know. So definitely not the best music in the world for me, but I think it'll be fine for running. I feel like I care a little less about music than I do for cycling because running just takes so much of my focus that I'm not that focused on the music. After the HIIT run, I'm going to be doing a themed category run, which is going to be a 20-minute Latin History Month celebration run by Jess Sims from September 22nd, 2020, and it's all Latin music, which I really like, so I'm pumped. Jess Sims, always a good instructor. Basically, like all of the running classes I've taken so far are by her, so I think that it will be a good run. And this should also kind of be like the music run, that it is more of a chill run, so I'm going to take that after the HIIT class because I think the HIIT class will be really hard. Finally, I'm going to do a 10-minute cool down run by Matt Wilpers, so get a new instructor in, and it's all pop music, which is always good. I love Matt. It is from August 11th, 2020. Think this will be a good run. I looked to see if there were 5-minute cool down runs because I honestly feel like 10 minutes is kind of a long time, but there seems to not be. So I guess the general advice is to take a 10-minute cool down run, which makes sense. If I took a 5-minute run, I'd probably walk it out for like a couple minutes without the class. So I guess they just want you to do that in the class. A lot of the classes are shorter. They're only like 20 to 30 minutes, but then when you think about tacking on a warm-up run and a cool down run, it actually gets quite long. So I'm only taking 40 minutes of actual classes, but with my warm-up and cool down, it'll be a 55-minute run, which is a pretty significant amount of time. Usually when I run outdoors, 45 minutes is kind of my max. So I think I'll be fine, but we'll see how this goes, and I'm excited to try out some more classes and some new instructors. First off, look how red my face is compared to when I'm biking. I feel like my face used to get super red when I was biking also, but it's definitely calmed down. But for some reason running, I don't know if it's because I'm breathing harder or what, but my face still gets super, super red from it. I had a super good run today. I really liked all of the classes. The warm-up was pretty basic. It kind of just was like its own interval, but it was nice to do before the HIIT class because the HIIT class was definitely hard. The warm-up class also didn't have any like butt kicks or high knees, so I assume that's kind of what you're going to give up if you go from a 10-minute warm-up class to a 5-minute warm-up class, but it makes sense because if you're shortening it, something has to give. I'm still glad that I took it. The HIIT class was hard, but it was expected. But it's definitely like it's up to you how hard you want to make it. She gives ranges sometimes, but not even a lot. It's kind of like, oh, go into a run, go into hard run. At one point she was like, I'd like to see double digit speed, which is pretty hard because if you're going 10 miles per hour, then you're running a 6-minute mile. And I did follow that, but she was also like, if that's too hard, just go as hard as you want. Because obviously if you can't do it, you just can't do it. But I thought that that was a really great run. I've done outdoor runs with Robin before. I think she is very technical, but sometimes you want a technical hard run. And then the Latin Heritage Month run by Jess Sims was just super fun. The music was super good. And it was also harder than the Lizzo run, I thought. There were some hills, there were some rolling hills, there were some sprints, there was everything. And it was just fun. And at the end of the day, both of the runs were only 20 minutes each. So I feel like they would be manageable by pretty much anyone because you just modify to the point that you feel like it's hard. And then the cool down run, I really felt like it was take it or leave it. Maybe in my next running session, I will try to do my own cool down and see how it compares. I definitely understand the need for a cool down, but it just feels like a really long time. But then I am effectively cooled down, so I don't really know how to feel about it. But basically, it was 3 songs. I'm pretty sure he wanted you to start from like a 3 to 7 speed, and then each run he said to take off some. So I think I started at 6.5, and then I went down to like 5.8, and then I went down to 5, and then the last minute I just walked, and I walked a little bit after my run too, just so that I was completely cooled down. Usually when I'm outdoors, I do a Peloton outdoor running class, and then I schedule my run so I end from my apartment. That's about a 10 to 15 minute walk, and then I walk that out as the cool down. So this is kind of the equivalent of that. Overall, I ran 6 miles in about 60 minutes, so it was around a 10-minute mile pace, which seems about on track with what I did the other day with the Lizzo run, and I'm totally okay with that. 6 miles is the longest I've ran in a hot second, so it was definitely a really good workout, and I think that the runs are a fun change of pace from the rides. Don't get me wrong, I love Peloton cycling, but this has definitely been fun to kind of mix up my workout routine and try something new while still getting a really good cardio workout. So I'm excited to see kind of the more technical classes that I have left and give my opinions on those. Finally, I found the perfect combo that is my favorite here, I think. So I have a packet of strawberry electrolytes from Liquid IV. I love strawberries. This is super good just on its own. And then I also put 2 scoops of this essential amino acid of peach lemonade. So it's like a peach lemonade strawberry drink, and it tastes very good. And I'm not sure if it's the Liquid IV, I think it's more the amino energy, but I definitely feel like my muscles are recovering faster. On Monday of this week, I did a 60-minute ride and I did the Lizzo run and warm up and cool down. So that was a really intense workout day, and I basically wasn't sore at all the next day. And I definitely attribute that to like what I've been drinking. I don't think that is a smart idea to just start doing doubles all the time and just drink this. Like, you should definitely listen to your body still, but I do appreciate feeling a little less sore the day after. So I'm excited to keep testing this out, but so far I really, really like this amino energy powder. It is now 2 days later. It is Friday afternoon. I rode the bike this morning, so I'm doing another double today where I'm running tonight. It is like 5 p.m., just got off of work, feeling very hyped for this workout. So today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to do my own warm-ups and cool-downs and see if I think I can do the warm-ups and cool-downs better. I probably can't. I just feel like they're so long, especially the cool-down. So basically I'm just going to do a little bit of walking before and after my run and then see if I think that's ample or not. I mean, I guess time will tell. I think it's probably fine considering I'm not running every single day. So the only run I'm going to be doing today is a 30-minute tempo run by Olivia Amato from January 13th, 2021. And this was super highly rated. It looks like it's mostly EDM/pop music, so I'm pretty excited. I'm not the biggest fan of Olivia on the bike, but I do really, really like her outdoor runs. She might be my favorite outdoor runs instructor, so I'm excited to see what she's like on the treadmill. I feel like she'll probably be more like she is in the outdoor runs, so I'm really excited for this class. It's also more of a technical run. I'm not exactly sure what tempo runs are. I think it's kind of like longer intervals at a specific tempo and then they change it, but we'll just get in and see how it is. This is slightly off topic, but I went to the Lululemon outlet with my boyfriend like a week and a half ago, and I've had this sports bra for a really long time, like over a year, and I found the matching leggings. So now I have a whole camo fit, which I'm very excited about. So with that, let's just run. Just finished my run, feeling pretty sweaty. I think that my warm-up was fine. I just walked a little bit and then I ran at a 10-minute mile pace, and then I came back down to the 5 speed, which is like 11 and a half minutes mile pace. And then I actually got into the run. I really, really liked it. I just really like Olivia's content. She was a great instructor. I loved her music choices. There was an 8-minute warm-up at the beginning, which was still like running. It wasn't walking and stretching out, but I felt like that was also ample. I probably could have just walked for only like a minute or two before starting and then got into it. I only walked for like 4 minutes, I think, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but I definitely felt warmed up. And then after the warm-up, she was basically like, pick a tempo pace which you should be able to sustain for 40 to 60 minutes. So I chose speed 7.5, which is an 8-minute mile. I run a little bit faster than that usually, but I figured that that would just be a very safe option to choose. And it was always on 1% incline because she's like, you can just put it at 1.0 if you want to emulate like you're running outside. If not, you can put it at 0.0, but I just chose 1.0. So I was running at a 1.0 incline, and then my tempo speed was 7.5, and we pretty much did 4-minute blocks the whole time. Sometimes it was like 3 minutes or 3.5 with either a 1 minute or 30-second recovery in between. And during that time, she was like, just bring it to a slow jog. So I ran at a 6 speed, which is a 10-minute mile pace. And I just really enjoyed it. Also, during the 4-minute blocks, she would usually have you add onto your tempo speed a couple times, but only 0.1. So the majority of my workout was probably between 7.5 speed and 8 speed. So I felt really comfortable in that range. It felt really good. And I kind of like the adding the 0.1 because 0.1 just feels so manageable, but she's like, these little add-ons is what makes you better, right? So it's like, if you think that 7.5 is not bad, then eventually you'll think 7.6 isn't bad, and that'll be the base, and then 7.7, and you'll keep building up. So I found that really encouraging, and I just really liked how the class was structured. I feel like tempo runs are definitely my favorite technical so far. HIIT runs are obviously a good workout, but you're really going from going slow to like full out sprints, and I'm definitely more of an endurance girl. Now, the last class I have to take, which I think I'll take this weekend, is an endurance run. So I'm interested to see what the difference between a tempo run and endurance run is, because in my opinion, this is kind of like an endurance run. Like you're running at a maintainable speed for a long time, but maybe endurance, you never get recovery. So you're just running a flat speed the whole time. I don't know. I guess we'll find out this weekend. But overall, really, really love that run. I definitely want to take more runs with Olivia. She is just a really great running instructor. So that was such a nice way to end my Friday workday. And I just feel really re-energized. Also, I am drinking Liquid IV Tangerine, which is just a different flavor. I kind of have an update with the amino acid stuff I was taking. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I feel so good after my workouts. I need to order this so that I have it when I'm in San Francisco, because I just feel incredible. So then I went to like look at what the name was so that I could type it in on Google. And then I started looking at the ingredients on the back, and there was 50 milligrams of caffeine per scoop that you use. And I was using 2 scoops after every workout because that's what they say the mild version is. So on the days that I did doubles, I did 4 scoops, which is 200 milligrams of caffeine. Plus I drink coffee, and I sometimes drink soda too. So that was just a ridiculous amount of caffeine. Obviously, like 200 milligrams is not going to kill you. Whenever I drink Celsiuses, those are also 200 milligrams, but it's definitely not something that I want to get the habit of. I'm low-key already addicted to caffeine because I pretty much need to have coffee in the morning, or otherwise I feel super groggy. So I'm not trying to add another like 100 milligram caffeine dependency to my lifestyle. So I definitely am still going to use it sometimes, but it'll be like 1 scoop before or after a workout, and definitely not every day. I do not want to develop that much of a caffeine addiction. I'm pretty sure that it's fine if you do that, and especially if you don't drink coffee, but I love coffee too much to give it up. So now I'm back on just the Liquid IV, but honestly the Liquid IV tastes really, really good. I love the strawberry flavor. This tangerine flavor is also pretty good, and I definitely feel an improvement with having electrolytes that I don't feel thirsty all the time. So it's still a really great after workout drink to have. So that's it for today. I had a really great run today, and I'm excited to try the last type of running class this weekend. It is now Tuesday. It's been quite a couple days since I did the last run, but I'm ready to get back at it. So today's run is just going to be a 45-minute endurance run by Bex Gentry from March 30th, 2020. This is a pretty top-rated endurance run, which is why I picked it. And it looks like it is pop music slash EDM music. I'm not completely sure. I haven't heard a lot of this music, but it says like club remix after a lot of it. So I'm guessing it's EDM. I'm not going to do a warm up or cool down run. I'm just going to do a little bit of walking before and after. I think that because it's an endurance run, there'll kind of be warm up in it, or it'll never be like sprints. So I don't need to have a super good warm up, but we'll see. So let's just get right on into this run. I'm interested to see how Bex is. I think I've done some outdoor runs with her, but I don't really remember what I think of her. I haven't taken a ton of classes with her. That run was probably the hardest run I've done on Peloton Tread, which makes sense in hindsight just because it is 45 minutes. But basically, I was right. You just pick one speed and you go that speed the entire time. So I initially picked 7 speed, which is like 8.5 minutes. But then I went down to 6.5 sometimes because 7 was just too much, especially with incline. But basically the class was split into a warm-up, so I definitely didn't feel like I needed to do a warm-up. You just jogged it out for like 7 minutes. And then it went into these interval blocks that would be like 5 minutes where it would play with incline, not a ton. The highest you went was 4%. And then 10-minute flat road, and then 5-minute block again where you do incline, and then 10-minute flat road, and then 5-minute block, and then cool down. I wasn't a huge fan of the way that the class was structured just because for the 5-minute blocks, the first minute and a half were exactly the same as the 10-minute block. So it was really like 11.5 minute blocks and then 3.5 minutes of incline, which I thought was a little weird. And this is just a personal opinion, but I feel like for endurance runs, it's really great to do those outside because you're not really changing a lot of things. You're kind of just going mostly on a flat road at the same speed. So I felt like this was kind of boring. And then on the treadmill, there was nothing to do. So I feel like I was just watching the time tick down. Like when I do the outdoor runs on Peloton, it's hard to watch the clock because it's only on your phone. So I'm holding my phone while I'm also running. So I can only glance at it like once or twice during the class. But this class, since there wasn't a ton to focus on because the incline and the speed weren't changing a lot, I felt like I was just like counting down the minutes until the class was over. I definitely see value in these classes. Like it'd be great if you were training for a marathon. If you want to have your pace be set at a very specific time, then this would be a great class for you. But she also had callouts for outdoor runs, which makes me think a lot of people take these indoor runs outdoors because she was like, oh, if you're outdoors, this is the halfway point, like turn around. And it does make sense that these would be easy classes to convert to outdoor runs, which I will keep in mind because I really, really like the outdoor running content, but they don't put out a ton of classes. So this could be a good alternative for somebody that wants to do more outdoor content. These runs specifically would be really easy to translate into outdoors. Once the class was over, I needed like a 5-minute cool down walk. That was probably the longest cool down I've done by myself. I just felt like I was really overexerted because I had been running that whole time with basically no break. Like the 10-minute blocks with no incline were still hard work in my opinion. So overall, I thought it was a good workout, but I feel like I gravitate towards the other runs. I really like the tempo run for a more technical class, and then the fun runs are always a good time, artist series runs. Really no complaints there. I would definitely take more Peloton tread classes and I'm looking forward to it. I personally love to have a Peloton tread, maybe one day, we'll see. But I'm really glad that I finally got to try them out and try some new instructors. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you guys take Peloton tread classes. If so, what's your favorite class type? Who's your favorite instructors? I'm definitely still going to take some in the weeks to come when I'm in Los Angeles. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!